Good morning, everybody. This week we're introduced to one of the strangest characters in the Torah, the prophet Bilam. Bilam is a non-Jewish prophet who was hired by Balak, the king of Moab, to come and to curse the Jewish people. You see, Balak was trying to wage a war against the Jewish people, but he understood that at the core of their invulnerability is the fact that they have a very special, unique relationship with Hashem, and they're protected by a God because of that relationship. So his thinking was that if he could hire this prophet to come and curse the Jewish people, sever that unique bond, then they will be vulnerable to attack and whatever war plans Balak had. The only problem is that Bilam said right away in the very beginning, I'll try to curse the Jewish people, but I'm just warning you, whatever words God puts in my mouth, those are the words that are going to come out. That's it. I don't have any control over what I say. I will do my best. I will attempt to curse the Jewish people, but whatever comes out, comes out. And famously, as Bilam is attempting to curse the Jewish people, God takes those words and he flips them into blessings. So these are all blessings that this prophet Bilam is offering to the Jewish people, which of course infuriates Balak, who hired him to come and curse the Jewish people. Now, one of those blessings is a little bit confusing. Is it a blessing or is it a curse? And that's the question that I want to raise with you. And that's the question that I think you should raise at your Shabbat table today, tonight. Ask this question. Okay? The verse is that Bilam says, Hain am levadod ishgon uvagoyim lo yitchashev. That they are a nation that dwells alone. And they are not considered, they're not reckoned among the other nations. A nation that dwells alone. Haim am levadod ishgon. Now, the question is that a blessing or a curse? On one hand, you could say, no, of course it's a blessing, because it means that the Jewish people, throughout everything that we'll go through, throughout all of the travels and trials and tribulations of 2,000 years of exile, we will remain alone. Levadad will have our own identity. We'll hold on to the values that are at the foundation, at the core of Judaism. We'll remain a light unto the nations. And we can do that only if we're alone, if we're not assimilating, if we're not being influenced by the cultures around us. So that's one idea, that we'll be able to be distinct and we'll be able to maintain our vision with moral clarity about who we are and the role and the destiny of the Jewish people, and to be able to live up to our divine mission of being a light unto the nations, which is very, very hard to do when we integrate too much into the world. On the other hand, there's a negative implication of being a nation that dwells alone, which means we're a nation that's always misunderstood. That even when we know we're doing something so right, and we have total moral clarity about what needs to be done, the world can still be so against us and so confused and so non-supportive of what we're trying to do. So this is the double-edged sword of Bilam's blessing. Hein am levadad yishgon, a nation that will dwell alone. And it's amazing. These words were said 3,300 years ago, and here we are to this day still fighting a war against radical Islam, which is not just the enemy of the Jewish people, but the enemy of the entire Western civilized world. And no one's supporting us. We feel all alone in this war. Where's the rest of the world? Instead of condemning us and telling us we should stop committing atrocities and stop a genocide and agree to a ceasefire, they should be sending us arms. They should be supporting us in every single way as we fight this war to protect the entire Western world. And yet it's the exact opposite that's going on. They're condemning us. They're making absurd claims against us. And they're not supporting us. We are an am levadad yishgon. We are a nation that dwells apart. It's good and it's bad. There's positive and there's negative. It's a great question to discuss. Wishing everybody a wonderful Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom from Yerushalaim.